Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back and we are live right here on today's Kev Baker Show on Truth Frequency Radio, tfrlive.com, your number one network. We also go out on TalkStream Live, Paranormal Radio app. And today, very special occasion, we're going out on YouTube as well. Because today it's going to be very uplifting. It's going to be very energetic. We are going to be bringing you messages from under the strawberry moon. And to do that, I have to remind you that I am coming to you live from under the Data Dome in Glasgow. And we go all the way around the world, from America right the way to Australia and just about everywhere in between, thanks to Chris and Cherie Geo and Truth Frequency Radio, where we give you protection from deception and where we say that silence is consent. Today it's one of my favourite shows of the month because we have a regular guest on. No, forget that. She's a friend and I like to call her Scary Mary. But for anyone new out there, and I hope every time we go in there we get new people, you're all welcome here. Mary Dusina is a star shaman, psychic, tarot reader, astrologer, mystic, and so much more. She was born on Halloween and did the first psychic call-in show in the Tampa area in the 1980s. Now you can also go over to her website and find out more about her there, marydusina.com. But today she is here and she is live with me on the show. Mary, welcome back, and your first time out on the simulcast. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Chris and Cherie Geo. And I love, love, love the motto of this network, your protection from deception. That in of itself is powerful and uplifting. And welcome, audience and listeners, and may all of our sacred angels come through to us on this last supermoon of 2021. By the Farmer's Almanac definition, it's the strawberry moon because the fruits are ripening in a lot of the farming regions here in the summer solstice area rather than the winter solstice area. And it's also known as the rose moon. So there's a lot of blooming and blessing in the northern hemisphere. So solstice has happened, the longest day of light, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, the longest day of night. So there's a very powerful energy going on right now.
Oh, I've been noticing
very
that.
Powerful.
And of course, we've just come out of, well, I believe we've just come out of Mercury retrograde. I used to laugh at the old retrograde, not so much these days, Mary. But I'm noticing that the energies are seemingly starting to get a lot stronger. And I had on Evan and Stephen Strong just the other day, and they were talking about a university, I believe it was in Ukraine or Russia, that measures the Schumann resonance. And for one of the first times ever, it went right off the scale. And what's going on with all these energies, Mary?
Well, we just finished 2 eclipses. So we had at the new moon, we had the eclipse that happened in the sign, that very cerebral sign, the very mental Mercury-ruled sign, and Mercury was still in its retrograde modality, which a lot of people out there, you're born in your birth chart with Mercury retrograde. I was. And so for those of us that were born with Mercury retrograde and or when a Mercury retrograde cycle comes, I don't teach it or view it as negative. It's an attention getter. But I look at it as it's time for us to kind of put an RE in front of our main skill set projects to do for the day, like refresh it, re-examine it, maybe redo it. Maybe it's going to be a revealing time, but it has a lot to do with kind of go relook at that again before you give your final answer or your final commitment on the contract, or, if you're wanting to buy the car or you're wanting to upgrade your system and the salesman's a little pushy and Mercury's retrograde, I don't advocate that you don't do what you want to do, but you are going to be responsible. It's like buyer be aware rather than buyer beware. Be aware. Like, take that word apart and don't let yourself get all antsy and impatient because you're 55 years old and you're excited like a little kid to get the new smartphone or upgrade to your laptop or Kindle or whatever it is. And so you're gimme, 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 gimme.
Have you been spying on me again, Mary? Have you? Oh, I love my gadgets. As much as I sit here and I pontificate at times about the perils and the trappings of said gadgets, I'm somebody that I've always loved them, Mary. I can't get away from it, you know? I know.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
I'm like a riddle wrapped up in several hypocrisies and like a conundrum all rolled into one.
I think that's kind of a good thing. Instead of being, we're in the season of Cancer the Crab, which means that whatever gives us, the old Rolling Stones song, Give Me Shelter, whatever gives us shelter, especially emotional pleasure or shelter from the storms of the world, that's the season we're in right now. At solstice in the Western zodiac, it starts Cancer the Crab. And so a tortoise or a lobster or a shrimpy or a crab, they have their shell on their back. And so even a hermit crab, little kids that have had hermit crabs as pets in a little terrarium, they don't give up their shell. I mean, they almost have to die inside the shell. This is true of the creature's just its disposition. Until it will not leave that shell that it's grown accustomed to, even if it's uncomfortable, until that you have to place another shell that's a little bit bigger, and then you have to put it side by side if you've ever owned a hermit crab, and it has to peek out, go in, peek out. It'll do it at night and go check it out, and then finally it just takes its little crabby tentacles and just pushes the other shell away like, I'm done with you now. You can't have me. And then it takes residence in the other shell. But that's that whole, to the Native Americans, to the First Nations people, a lot of the tribes, they equate the tortoise. They equate the shell of the tortoise, like we do in Western astrology, to the crab, the ocean crab's shelter. And Egyptians look at it as like the scarab beetle. It's one of the Egyptian totems of the sign. But whatever it is, before we do the opening prayer, I just want to kind of set the tempo for our audience in the turning of the wheel. So at equinox, it's at spring equinox over here, when the first sign of the Western zodiac happens. And when you're a mystic like me, that's my new year. My new year is that whole March 20th, 21st type of a thing. So we start the Western zodiac with Aries the ram. So here we have a four-legged. Here we have Aries the ram. And so the ram can run all over the mountain. It's very fast and it's very forceful and it's got those curled horns, but it also has a very mystical significance to it. It's the go-ahead sign. And even in a lot of the Judaic cultures, the shofar is the horn, the trumpet, the sacred trumpet that they use made from a ram's horn. That's what the shofar is, and they blast it on the Jewish New Year, and they blast it on times of atonement and repentance to go into atoning for any kind of past, things they weren't too proud of and they want to atone for. So the shofar is made from the ram's horn. And then the second Western zodiac sign, where Aries is impatient. I got to go. Let me go. Don't fence me in. I got to go. And I got a mountain to go graze, and I got to go find me some sheep, some mountain sheep. So then we slow it all down with Taurus the bull. And if you just look out in nature, you'll learn a lot about the Western zodiac. So the bull and the cows, they just want to be left alone. Just give me the grass, bring me my sweet feed, give me some hay. And except for the bull getting a little frisky with some of the female cows, they're just pretty protective of their pasture. But they really want to end up in that pastoral, peaceful, just leave me alone. I'm not an animal that would want to attack you. I'm very docile, and most of the time they run from humans with good reason. Then we go to the third sign, which is what we just came out of, Kev, before this one. So Gemini, they call it the twins. But I remind my clients all the time, especially when I taught it in Florida, these are constellations. They're not like two twins on the earth necessarily. As you look at it zodiacally, it's the constellations that represent the twins. So here we have like star twins. And so Gemini takes us up into the heavens, where Aries is fire and Taurus is the first earth sign. Gemini is the first sky world, heavenly, the stars above our head, the mind, the thoughts, the ideas, how to fashion, what is the momentum of the thinking and the dreaming and the imaging and the affirming and setting intention and learning more about a subject. Okay, that's the, in the left-right brain. That's Gemini. Now we've moved to the fourth sign, which is the first water sign, and it's Cancer, the oceanic crab, ruled by the moon. And the ancient astrologers referred to it as Moonchild. And then it caught on in different, 20-year blocks to be called Cancer the Crab more than Moonchild. So when you go back to the older astrologers, though, of the 80s and the 90s, they were still calling it Moonchild Cancer, like Linda Goodman and the rest of them, and Alan Oken and Mark Edmund Jones and the people that started bringing astrology back into popularity. So
I like
Cancer is ruled by...
Moonchild. I do like Moonchild. It's
I do
often
too. I like
been
it better.
it's often
I like
been
it better.
suggested that I am wired to the moon.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. So I like that.
Well, and look at and here's what's interesting for all of you birthday Cancerian crabs to know: the moon is the fastest moving luminary light that we look at in the zodiac. All the planets have different rates of speed, but the moon goes through each one of the zodiac signs. It takes 2.5 days. So we have moony moods because the moon is jumping around every 2.5 days, and it goes through all 12 zodiac signs in about 28.5 to 29 days. So when we come to a full moon, the sign of Cancer, no matter what the moon is full in, is most affected by the full moon and the new moon phases. So at each full moon, the moon is rising 180 degrees opposite of where our sun sign currently is. So you really, if you learn 6 signs and their opposites, their polarities, like if you learn that you're Moonchild Cancer, then that's in this, let me just speak Northern Hemisphere. So in the Northern Hemisphere, Cancer the Crab, Moonchild, is the summer solstice. So what's 6 months away from the summer solstice? Yule, winter solstice. Capricorn begins, and that's the balanced sign to Cancer the Crab, Moonchild. So Capricorn is opposite Moonchild. Moonchild is opposite Capricorn. So you start to learn that 6 months away from your sign is your balanced sign. That's the sign that sees and knows what you don't have, and you have and see what they don't have. So right now we have the ocean crab, and so when you're doing oracle work or dream work or mystical work and interpreting your dreams or looking at the chart for the elements, fire, earth, air, water, this is our first water cycle of 2021 as measured by the Western Zodiac. And I don't argue with Vedic astrologers or Mayan astrologers because I think it's all relevant and I think it all helps. It's just whatever your preference is, sidereal, actual sky astrology, all that's fine. I'm just drawn to this. That's just my little way I enter the cosmic circus. So Cancer Moonchild is telling us it's like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. There's no place like home. So Cancer Moonchild is about who do I want to hang out with under the stars, under the moon? Who are the people that make me feel emotionally secure? Who do I want to protect and nurture? Whether you're a father or a mother or a brother or a son, Cancer the Crab is about these are my closest people, tribe, animals that I love. This is what gives me serenity. This is what, no matter what's going on in the world, that might represent a challenge or a mystery, or to use your word, Kev, a riddle, a quagmire that has to be solved. Cancer the Crab is like, go within yourself, because Cancerians, Moonchild is a sign, wherever that's in our actual birth horoscope and our star map, that's where we have to listen to our gut. That's where we have to listen to our intuitive levels. And so oftentimes the subconscious will speak to us stronger through our dreams. So right now with the sun, as of June 20th, 21st, entering into the sign of Moonchild, regardless of whether it's a full moon, supermoon, or a new moon coming up over July 9th and 10th, they're 2 weeks apart, the new moon and the full moon, but this is the full moon that says, ask as you go into sleep, ask as you go into your dream lodge, as you travel across the river of stars, and you're about to enter your sacred dream lodge with your ancestors and your elders and everything that loves you in the hallowed land of spirit. Ask your angelic host and your guides and your protections from deceptions. Call on your shields, and then ask as you go into sleep, thank you, O holy ones. Thank you, O divine frequencies. What is it at this juncture, at the crossroads in 2021 of the sun now gliding along, we call it transiting, now swimming along, and the most intuitive, innate ability for me to see and know from my inner verse, my inner waters of my intuition and the rising of my waters and fluids of my body and my oceans of emotion, my emotions. Emotion is energy put into motion. This is what the sign rules. So this is our time to turn inward. This is not an external sign. Aries is external. Gemini is external. Leo is external. Virgo is internal. Libra hits the halfway mode, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Scorpio is internal. Sagittarius is external. Very out there on vision quest all the time. In the full moon right now, Capricorn. Capricorn is very pensive and somber. And anybody that's hanging out with someone that's got a lot of Capricorn in their chart, this is the only time this year, but the moon will rise full in the earth sign of Capricorn, the mountain goat. So it's the mountains. Think about the landscape out there, and it'll give you the psychic perspective. It's the mountains overlooking the sea.
You
And
know,
so I
Mary,
would say
the past 18 months, I suppose we could look at in like climbing a mountain. And I think
it really has.
what's really held me in sane state and in good stead is I went through boot camp, square bashing, we called it over here. And I've really found myself going back to that kind of mindset to get through some of the things that we've all gone through. And I'm really actively trying now to look forward as opposed to holding on to all of that stuff we've just kind of come past. And it's really to ask you, I mean, it's okay for people like me that's got that kind of mindset where we just keep going forward. We're able to kind of improvise, adapt, overcome. But not everyone's been through the military brainwashing. So what would you say to people as we're starting to shed off all what
yes.
we've gone through towards I think I want to call it the light. I don't want to sound new agey, but I think there's still big changes coming our way. But at the end of it all, if you want to call it light, that's where we're heading, right?
Oh, I'm absolutely okay to pledge my allegiance to the sovereignty of the soul's light, absolutely. And Saturn rules the sign of Capricorn. So to answer that, this is the shadow side of the Capricornian energy, which really was historical and epic and iconic in January of 2020. This is when all those planets lined up in Capricorn, and they hadn't done it in over 740 plus years. So we're all living through that boot camp and that world event since January of 2020. And so this full moon right here is kind of releasing that energy that started with all of us needing to look at. When I looked at the year of 2020, I'm like, ophthalmologists say 2020 means you have perfect vision. And we've got this Capricorn lineup. So, boy, are we going to be shown some things. Boy, we're going to need to look at things from all four corners in a different kind of angle. And here I sit on the edge of July of 2021 saying to myself, I do see a lot of things deeper, differently, and I've fine-tuned my discernment skills even better. Every day, which wasn't always a priority each day, I don't go a day now without doing my Almighty I Am, gratitude, thank you prayers. I rebuke any and all uninvited energies, any deleterious energy, and I pray every day. I affirm and I pray, Divine Source, Almighty I Am, protect the innocence of the world and collapse the evil as you see fit. Because the shadow side of Capricorn is the people that know better and choose. Like, the Creator gives us choice, and they choose the betrayer. They choose the sinister. They choose the enemy in the camp, so to speak, to go back to the military. But the light, there's plus and minus of every sign. But the light side, this is a full moon, so it's illuminating any of the dark areas that were kind of bothering us back in the third week of May of 2021 when we had our total lunar eclipse. It was a supermoon and a blood moon and a total lunar eclipse, and it's like, yeehaw. So this is the first full moon since that third week of May. So this full moon is very compatible with both Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces. And what's that? Poseidon, Neptune, the ocean. So Cancer the crab and Poseidon and the Mer Kingdom and Neptune and Lord of the Seas in Greek mythology, these are all having nice stellar conversations saying from the depths of the sea, S-E-A, we shall now S-E-E. So this is a very congruent, revelatory, divine spiritual cycle to say, stand fast, have your faith, Venus and Mars are getting ready to join up in Leo. Mars is already there. Venus joins the royal lion, the leader, it goes into Leo on the 28th of June, and Mars is going to ride out most of July in the sign of the heart. Leo, Venus is going to join him there, so they're in sync with each other. Venus, the yin, Mars, the warrior yang. So the feminine and the masculine are riding in the sign of the lion. And then, so what we have is we have those two strong. Capricorn and Leo are both like, let's get it done. Let's do this. It's going to take some true grit. We've got to do the work. So the only people that might be challenged and exposed, I might say, by this full moon are the people that are not wanting to do the work needed, the lazy people, the procrastinators, trying to take the guts and glory away from someone else that's really done the work at the job or done the work at the school or done the right thing. Capricorn, Saturn, this is the 10th sign of the zodiac, this full moon. And Capricorn rewards the person to be able to get to the top of the mountain and have the panoramic view that's able to step by step, the old movies that would say, walk this way, step by step, slowly I turn. That's Capricorn. Saturn's like, do it right the first time or don't bother. So it's the taskmaster, it's the CEO, it's the boss that will catch your butt if you're backsliding, and it's got to do with the holy almighty forces saying to you, we're right here. Why don't you ask? Why don't you just try asking? Why don't you try summoning us? And however you plug in and get the dynamic shields of the Creator, of Holy Ghost, Great Spirit, Almighty I Am, however you do that, it's time to call that into action. That's what we have to do right now, because that's our behind-the-scenes inner universe, outer external manifestations. If we start from the inside, lean and clean, and we stop trying with our little human egos to control it, to direct it, to predict it, and simply say, you know what, this is where I'm fractured. This is what's been leashing me. This is what's been haunting and taunting me, and I really just want to get out from under why I allow this to keep happening in my life. Where am I stuck? This is such a great cycle to see it for what it is and be able to step up over it and climb the mountain and be free. But it's going to take the work. You can't just, you got to do the work.
Nobody's willing to do the work, Mary. Nobody's willing. But listen, I've been taking a little snap poll over on YouTube. We've got about 70 people on YouTube, and 23% of them are Cancerians. So there you go.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday, 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 birthday. Swimming in waters of the divine prosperity is what I cast upon you. Absolutely. Cancers they can venture out, but they venture out better, Cancer Moonchild, if they know they've got that nice, sweet harbor at home. Like the sailors that go out on the ocean, but while they're out on task or looking for the treasure or delivering the goods or traveling to the Silk Road to bring back fabulous things and barter and trade, they're dreaming on the ocean under the stars of back home, their moms and their kids and their love. And that Cancer is very nostalgic. And so Cancer is like, I don't need to be with a lot of people. I just want to be with my cherished ones.
Now that definitely rings very true. The nostalgia as well. And
Yeah.
is it true, Mary, that you get some signs that are more compatible with other signs? Or is that, what do you make of that?
There's a pretty simple formula that I've taught over the years. So let's break it down so people don't think they got to memorize all 12 energies, right? So there's 4 elements when it comes to compatibility. There's fire, earth, water, air. So in astrology, when we look at the elements, let's go yin-yang. So the fire signs are Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and they are yang, and they're compatible, most compatible, with a strong emphasis in the air signs. Not only are the air signs more understanding of each other, like an Aries is going to understand a Leo and a Sagittarius because those are starry brothers, let's say. But the air signs are most compatible because they're also yang or electrical with the fire signs. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, the fires of desire, have a natural compatibility with the realms of thinking and ideals and stimulation of a cerebral sort. Like, they're like the air signs are like, tell me a good story. I don't care how much you make love after a while. You got to keep me interesting. So that's interested. So that's Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So those are the 6 signs that most easily relate. Now, being human, we tend to go for the signs that challenge us and give us soul lessons, and we're not so easily compatible with them,
Now
but we
you're
learn.
talking. Now you're talking. Yep.
So the earth and the water signs are feminine or yin or magnetic. You've heard the term drawing down the power of the moon? So the earth and the water signs, so here's our earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn are earth, grounded. They want to, tell me what it is, and they're compatible with the water signs of Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio.
Hold that thought. We will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. Mary Dusina is live on today's Kev Baker Show right here on TFRlive.com. We'll be right back. There we go, Mary. There we go. We're still live on YouTube, obviously. Now I'm going to shove on some music for a couple of minutes, top up my coffee, and then we'll come back on the other side. And I don't think I gave you the opportunity to say your opening blessing, did I?
We're going to do it before the readings. We'll do it.
Awesome. We'll do that. How about we pick up there when we come back?
Yes, sir.
How's that sound? Sound good to you? Okay, so I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. And we had a super chat come in from Jocelyn. Thank you very much. I'm going to play that right now, and then we'll put on some music, and we'll come back after the break.
Jocelyn Richardson donated $5 through Super Chat. Thanks for all you do, Kev.
No, thank you to all of you good people out there. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't you go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Diving right on back into it with today's very special guest, Mary Dusina, as I like to call her, Scary Mary. And Mary, you love it when I call you Scary
I
Mary.
do.
Now, I
I
got
do.
so excited when you first joined the show. I forgot that you were going to say an opening blessing. I'm going to let you say that in just a moment. But before the break, we had got through 9 of the star signs, and we only
Yes.
really had the water signs left to get, didn't we?
Yes. So, and then we'll because we're on the fourth sign, at this turning of the wheel of this year, we're in the sign of Cancer, the oceanic crab, seeing things from the depths of the mysteries of life. And the water signs are very interested in the deeper mysteries of both heaven and the earth mother. So the water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, yin frequencies, and they're very compatible with the earth signs, even though they too will have some challenges. So, because look at it this way, Pisces is opposite Virgo, that's water earth. Cancer is opposite Capricorn, that's water earth. And Scorpio is opposite Taurus, that's water earth. But those are the celestial sisters, where the fire and the air signs are the celestial brothers. So we have a tribal energy of yang, and we have a tribal energy of the yin magnetic and the yang electrical, as in the air and fire signs will charge forth, and they're more electrical, and they're dynamic, and they're in vision quest, and they want to adventure and explore and push the limits, right? And then the earth and the water signs, they need to feel secure first. Like, wait a minute. No, don't push me to hurry up and do something. I've got to be able to feel secure about that. I want some steady footing here. And I want to bring up something, since this is the supermoon and the full moon and the moon child. When we're speaking about compatibility in the celestial scope of things, if you can find out where your moon sign is with your month, day, year, time, and place of Earth, because the sun sign that we talk about a lot on podcast and live broadcasts I did for years out of Florida, when we're talking about sun signs, that's the external light of you. So your sun sign, like if you're a Cancer and it's your birthday cycle right now, there could be 500 people that are Cancerians that will listen to this either live or as we load it up on YouTube simultaneously on replay. But every one of those can have one of 12 possibilities of their inside light or their moon sign. So when it comes to compatibility, you're subconsciously looking for what your moon sign qualities are. So you can have an Aries with a moon in the sign of Cancer, moonchild. That's going to be an Aries that's looking for emotional security, emotional predictability. It's not going to be like a regular Aries. You can find a Libra that has a Taurus moon, and they're not going to be as adventurous as most Libras, because that Taurus moon, like a Cancerian moonchild, they want stability. Cancer and Taurus and Capricorn are good with reliability and predictability. They like to know how the bills are getting paid. They don't want to mess with that. They like to have things secured and stable in the harbor, in home base, right? Now, if you get somebody that's Sagittarius with a Gemini moon or an Aquarius moon, they're going to get bored with you really fast unless you keep up with some kind of sense of adventure or intellectual stimulation, or you're interested in learning about psychology and Reiki and metaphysics or biochemistry. I mean, they're just like all over the place. You know, they're authors and lecturers, and they want to travel all over the place. So your moon sign is your biggest clue. When you go on the internet, your astrological natal chart, your treasure map, your moon sign is the innermost you. That's your real compatibility.
I like it. I like it. So, Mary, how about now? Totally disjointed, as we always do on the Kev Baker show. But I know you were wanting to say well, it's not so much an opening blessing, but it doesn't matter
it's
when
a blessing
we throw.
for the moon. Yeah,
Everything happens at once on a quantum kind of level. So, past, present, future, it's all happening now. So, is there any order to the chaos, Mary? But I'll give it over to you now.
I believe in divine timing, and I believe in, the what is what's meant to be. So everybody just kind of close your eyes for a moment and try not to socially do your tech, your media tech scrolling and looking and answering on your devices, and just take a nice deep breath, because this will center you every time. Not because I say it, not because I'm anything special, but because words cast spells, and words go forth, thoughts or things. And so this is a grounding, centering for the hypervigilant minds that we have, the monkey minds and the chatter boxes that we are. So let's just pull back from the technical electrical and let's go magnetic and let's go spirit for a sense. So take a nice breath in. And just deeply listen and let the words echo across the universe within your own innerverse. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. Thank you. Thank you for my life and the opportunity to truly embrace its wonders. Great Spirit, Wonka Tonka, Great Mystery, Holy Ghost, we allow the clearing and cleansing of all uninvited or deleterious energies and influences. We are now imbued with sacred light. Divine protections come hither, and all is now well with my soul. Aho, amen. And just when you play it on the replay, just breathe that in. If something's bothering you at the heart chakra level or the third eye level, or you just can't seem to make heads or tails of a current dilemma, or you feel like you've just been fractured by something, if you just stop yourself and say your favorite affirmative prayer, or just hopefully that will help you. But there's a song that goes with this supermoon prayer too. There's a song, and you can find it right where we are on YouTube. One of the teachings I would do in Tampa, Kev, is each one of the signs at the full moon. If we happened to do the show that I was doing weekly in Florida, happened on a full moon, I gave a song that would aptly define the frequencies of the full moon. And this one is called Ancient Legend, because Saturn rules Capricorn, Kronos, the mythological deity of time, and legend, and our traditions, the traditions and the ancientness of our culture. So it's called Ancient Legend by David Arkenstone, just like the Ark, Arkenstone. If you can play that as the supermoon rises in its glory over the next couple of days, because it's closer in proximity to Earth, this strawberry rose supermoon. It's not going to be pink. It's not going to be like a blood moon, but it's the name because of the growing season areas. But this supermoon, if you can go out and just take your phone or your gadgets, this is where our technical gadgets can be wonderful, and just pull that up. You know, if you don't own it on a CD, just pull it up on YouTube and just go outside for that 5 or 6 minutes and do your fully centered prayer under the heavenly watch of the star beings, the star nations, and Grandmother Moon, because most indigenous cultures refer to it as Mother Earth and Grandmother Moon. And Saturn ruling the sign of Capricorn, which is what this full moon is saying to us, do you have a fond memory of that great aunt or uncle or grandfather or grandmother or great-great-grandmother, if you're so lucky to get to know some of your ancestral lineage? Those of you that have done this 23andMe and DNA kit and been on this Ancestry.com type of a thing, those of you that enjoy doing tribal history, maybe you could honor and salute your DNA heritage, if it's Irish or Scottish or Italian, or, you know, we have links from all over the world, African, whatever it is, Israeli. Just honor those that have walked this planet, your star tribes, you know, honor the constellation that for some reason you always love hearing about that constellation when you would go to the, you know, go out to some of the star shows at the planetarium.
Mary,
I love doing that.
if I may interrupt you, one of the things we've been talking about on the show a lot is the ancient past, past lives, our
Yes.
kind of ancestral line, the people we
Yes.
we often walk with. How far back? And I don't know if you've even. I would imagine you've thought about this, but how far back do you think you go? How many times do you think you've done this?
I don't know about how many times, because I would try not to actually try to get like an earthly number, but I can tell you that I've uncovered.
I know it's a terrible question, I know, but I think
No,
you get what I'm going with.
I've uncovered stuff that I couldn't have made up if I wanted to when I trained with professionals and did past life regressions and with psychiatrists and mystics and shamans and stuff. I've uncovered Persian lifetimes I've some, and most of it, certainly nobody famous that I've uncovered, but I was like a Bedouin male in the desert. I loved that lifetime, had very little, very meager things in the desert. It was about survival, but I had my clan and my tribe. I was betrayed in that lifetime. I have that Persian guide with me this lifetime. All that got uncovered. I've always felt like I was from the stars. Like I really feel like I'm new to this whole earth thing, even if that's been 200 lifetimes. I mean, to me, I love nature. I love my earth mother. I love the creatures on this planet for the most part. I have such telepathic strength and respect for them and they for me. But when it comes to people and humans, that's where I feel really new. I feel really new, like, what the hell goes on with it's too people-y out there? So I certainly have had plenty of lifetimes as that monk or that nun or that one lifetime I was just a quiet, I was the scribe in some kind of castle, and all I did was that pen and the ink, and I wrote the proclamations for whoever was in charge. I certainly have surfaced being a mean court astrologer. I definitely defended the king, but I was like in competition with the general. Like we didn't like each other because the general would get his feathers all ruffled that I, the astrologer, wasn't approving when the battle would happen. But keep in mind, in those ancient times, the luckiest thing that happened to you if you were the court astrologer is that you got banished from the kingdom. Most of the time you were guillotined and killed. So it came with an intensity to be any kind of a predictor. So I've always been drawn to Sirius, the dog star, and ironically, it shifts a little bit, but ironically, that constellation is very much in power for those of you out there that like looking at the actual sky and have those little apps on your phone. Sirius is going to rise strong, really strong, from June 25th all the way through August 11th. And so if you look on the internet and study the mystery and the magic of how constellations, they're legends. Why was it called Sirius? What's the story of that? Or why are you drawn to the Corvid constellation or the Peacock or the Lyre Harp? Why are you drawn to these things? I do believe, Kev, that that's somehow in our ancient Akashic records. It's in our soul bank. And that's why a lot of people like to do etheric or astral travel or past life regression hypnosis or self-hypnosis, because they really, the real reason that they want to know past lives isn't just for some kind of parlor trick or seance party. It's so we can bring some kind of foundational basis of what can help us in this incarnation. Because the answer is the same. If you believe in reincarnation and past lives, then this life is the one that really matters, right? Correct? Okay. If you don't believe and you think it's a bunch of garbage and you don't believe in reincarnation or past lives at all, and you believe that when you're dead and that's it even, then this life is the one that matters, right? It's the same answer. Whichever one you believe, it's the same answer. If you believe in reincarnation and past lives, yep, this life matters. And that's what the focus should be. The focus should always be, no matter what assistance and empowerment and enlightenment that you should be able to surface, like a beautiful waterfall of light from past life themes. Because when you look back on them, you're going to get the overarching theme, like what you were really skilled at. Sometimes people will see how and who killed them they're back again with this lifetime to work it out. Sometimes past lovers become our children or our parents in another incarnation, because we're so tied together in a soul pod, as people like Dolores Cannon, Edgar Cayce, a lot of these different people, Raymond Moody, these different people that have done a lot of this past life work will tell you there's a reason and a season why you're still traveling together. And I believe that when that season, when those soul lessons, I believe we can have graduations of our personal guides, our angelic host, people that we've been reincarnating with. I believe once we can cut those psychic knots and those emotional umbilical cords, those knots and those cords, when we can cut those psychic umbilical cords.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, we wouldn't even be here if we were already like fully evolved or fully perfect, or we've learned everything there is to learn, or we ourselves wouldn't be here again in this physical form, right?
I don't know. Maybe we volunteered.
Well, you know it's funny you bring that up, right? Because again, tying in with the work of Evan and Stephen Strong.
Yes.
And remember, folks, you can watch their latest conference. It'll be this weekend coming up. Go to ouralienancestry.net for more details on that. But they talk about the changes that we're going through right now, the big shifts that we're going through right now
They're
as well.
awesome. They're
Yeah,
awesome.
definitely awesome. Definitely awesome.
And
And
let me tell you, it's our indigenous cultures and it's so auspicious right now with the sun in the watery current, all the mysteries of the ocean. That's when we're in the season of
well, is that why?
Moonchild.
Is that why there's 7.5 billion plus on the planet right now? Have we come here to witness whatever's going on?
Absolutely. And I believe that we also signed on. Some of us might have gone kicking and screaming, going, "Oh, dang, I can't believe can I change my mind? Can I change?"
Exactly. So to you people listening right now, anytime you're feeling like that on social media and you're moaning about the state of things, just remember, at some point somewhere, you agreed to sign up for this. So I'm telling you, we've got work to do, right?
Well, it advances our soul. You know, when we have a difficult lifetime, when we become the caregiver, when people are born with severe physical handicaps, or we have our soldiers that, get disabled. Listen, just times in my life when I've overcome illnesses or had to come back from a bad break or a fracture, be it physical, financial, whatever, I am a better version of myself with the way that I rose up from that collapsing event in my life, that shock wave that we didn't know it was going to. Some things in our life can happen so quick. There can be such a sharp event that happens. You didn't think the animal was going to die that day. You weren't ready for the person to betray you and break up with you and take your money out of the account. There's like these things happen to all of us, and it's how we rise up better. I always say to my clients, if this can make you bitter, or this can make you better.
Oh, Mary, I've not been able to move on from my cat. It's like, no other cat, never having another cat. I thought I'd be able to move on by now, but no.
Well, again,
will it ever pass?
Because
I like cats. Do you know what I mean? I'm like almost losing out, but still at the same time, it almost feels like I'm cheating on Susie. Do you know what I mean?
No, because let's go back to Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet of Pisces, an oceanic sign, and let's go back to many, 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 many psychics that I've read and studied and done work with, and again, back to our very much homage, salute, bravo, indigenous cultures. They believe that when that sweet soul finds you in a four-legged or a feathered flyer or you've got a terrarium creature or whatever it is, and you have that telepathic bond.
Oh, that cat got me. It totally got me. Like way ahead.
Well, no, what I'm saying is
that
cat slipped its skin, but it did not leave you. And so when the odd day happens that you've been kind of pushing back on that and resisting, no, I'm not ready to have my vulnerability and my emotions come out again. In a way, you are losing out a little bit on the love that another creature can bring back. But that cat that bonded with you, you don't know, but it wasn't with you in another form from another time, and it'll come back to you again. I've seen all kinds of very unique traits of my animals come back in future animals that I've rescued. I've got like combinations now because they simply slip their earth suit. But the spirit that love doesn't die.
I can just picture all the people laughing right now, thinking that Kev Baker and his cat.
I love it about you.
Is either my cat or octopus. Fascinated with the octopus.
I love octopus.
When it's into the octopus, I think they're aliens, but like highly intelligent ones. I mean that in like
listen, I can so validate you. I had a pathologist friend in Tierra Verde, Florida. His first degrees were in zoology, and then he went on to be a pathologist, like to help humans. But when I would go to his house, he and his wife, because he was, right on the water in Tierra Verde, Florida, and he had this huge tank. And I had never been in the presence physically of an octopus. And he had one of the little ones, and every day when he came in from the hospital, there was a nice bench right in front of this fabulous built-into-the-wall place just for this octopus. And he would come in, and the octopus would get all excited, just like a dog or a cat when he came in through the door. They had like a code for the door, and he came in. Now the wife came through the door a lot. I came through the door a lot. That octopus knew when Daddy was coming home. And it would get all excited, and the wife could feed it. It wasn't about food. And he would go every day, unless there was an emergency. He went over and he sat on that bench, and he would let the octopus come to the tank and look at him, and they would be eye to eye because it was all glass, and the bench was just for the octopus watching. And then he would go up, and that octopus would come up with that tentacle and wrap it around his finger and rub its little top of its octopi head on his finger. And I said, would it let me touch it and pet it because I don't want to invade that bond. I mean, I like it when an animal bonds with, he said, yeah, if I'm here and it smells me and I'm right here, it'll happen. Oh, I fell so in love with it because I've always liked octopus. And I'll tell you something. It's a lesser known symbol of the other water sign of Scorpio because it has 8 legs. It has 8 tentacles.
Oh, I like it. I like it now.
They're very intelligent. I do think they're aliens, and I love wherever they come from. I'm compatible with that.
Well, you actually communicate with animals, and it's something I was trying to get another animal communicator on the show, Anne Marie Hoff, and I was going to ask her, but I'm going to ask you because you do the same thing.
I started reading animals way before humans, and I would choose, no offense, everybody, but I would choose animals, any creature over humans any day because it's spot on every time.
Well, I was going to ask you then, what kind of barometer are they setting for the times we're living in? What I mean is, what are you picking up from animals right about now, about the times that we're in? What are they kind of going through?
Yeah. I've always watched animals with storms, and let them teach me. And crows have always taught me in different locations when storms were coming. Like, when the time you spent in Florida, anybody that travels or lived in Florida or on a beach knows what has domain in the sky and the beaches. Seagulls, right? Albatross, seagulls. Not me. I had a pet crow. And no seagulls ever came. And it was a wild crow that came to me. So I know about animals and the signs to do with animals. And right now, we're having a lot of stuff that's beginning to come up in debate about meat. And why is the meat being magnetized? And what about, because Uranus is in Taurus, there's the bull, there's the cow, and there's the bull. And there's like debates out there there always has been an age-old debate with vegans versus, my vegan friends would say, if you can communicate with animals, I personally don't ever want to eat a face or that's been a mother or a father or a face. So that touches you when vegans say that to you. And I was vegetarian for 10 long years. I did it just to see the effects it would have on my body. So I did do that. I did that in my 30s, and I thought, I want to know what that's like to do that. It was very hard for me to give up fish, got to tell you. It was very hard. That was the hardest thing for me to give up. So, and you have to be very strict. So I feel like that the animals are higher teachers, and I believe they're like living oracle cards or tarot cards or astrological charts or whatever, because look at how many creatures are in the constellations. They're right above our heads. There's crows and seagulls and, and bunnies and dogs. And so I feel like that I watch the animals very closely, so no matter what's going on in any kind of news genre, I watch nature. I watch the trees, I watch the storms, I read the signs of the animals, and I move my physical body, longitude and latitude, to the zones that I get from Mother Nature. Like I knew when it was time for me to leave Florida. I knew it for me. I knew I had to get back into the mountains. I had to get back into the woods. I've never been, although I've lived in it, I don't like the big city vortices. I don't like that. I'm a girl that's either right on the beach. I'm either right on the beach or I'm up in the woods, or I've been out west. I love the Taos, Taos, Pueblo, and Angel Fire and Sedona and Santa Fe. Love it. Absolutely love it. But it didn't feel like home. Home feels like I've got to have that lush green and these mountain creatures. I'm compatible with that. So, or the beach. So I watch it, and I remember in 2005, I went down to Florida and I was sitting. I like to go to the beach at night, and I was sitting at night, and I could feel this like sadness that was going on. And I think there was a big hurricane that hit in 2005 somewhere, maybe not in Florida, but I remember thinking, oh, the beach is sad. And then I was actually living in the mountains in March of 2011 when Fukushima went down, and I remember walking out on my deck. I'm like, oh no, something's wrong, because there was a big astrological change on that date, on March 11th of 2011, and Fukushima happened, and it was a big change with Uranus. And I'm like, oh no, that's going to be going into the Pacific. So immediately I started, if I'm going to be one with nature, Kevin, and the animals and looking at signs, I have to participate as an incarnated light worker spirit, not better than anybody else, but I believe we're called to take our energy frequencies, and as much as nature gives to us, and animals give their life, or animals are a part of our ecological system, I believe it's our job to rescue and help and shelter, even if we help them move on their way and get them another home. I believe if it shows up in my world, I'm supposed to do something to help it, to feed it, to usher it on its way. So I believe
you never trust anyone that doesn't help animals, Mary. I'm telling you, it's like an unwritten rule.
I don't need to know them. Yeah, I don't need to know them.
What is it
Yeah.
about? I mean, I think most people would agree that sometimes we probably care more about animals than we do each other, you know?
Well, it's like if you look at the different kind of animal frequencies. A cat has a certain amount. It loves you, but it has a certain amount of
It
being able to
owns
look at
you,
you.
Mary. It owns you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, cats have staff. Dogs don't care if you've got the flu, if you throw up, if you come home drunk. They just want to be with you. And the dog looks at you every time, like, why do you have to go out the door at all today? And why can't I go with you? A cat's like, yeah, how you doing? Did you clean my litter box? Where's my food? Yeah, pet me. That's enough. I'll scratch you. They'll scratch and bite you when they're done with you petting them. It's so funny, So cats have a certain kind of Egyptian, Bali. They're still revered in Bali in Indonesia. So cats have a certain kind of frequency of like, I'm here to amplify your frequency, but make no mistake about it, I don't really need you. I have enough wild in me.
Wow, we're on the break and we'll be opening up the phones on the other side, so don't go anywhere. More from the brilliant, the amazing, scary Mary Dusina. We'll be right back. There we go, Mary. Yeah, this is very, very good, and I'm having fun. And I tell you, there
Good.
is such a positive vibe over there in the YouTube chat room. As somebody who consumes far too much YouTube content on top of making it, you tend to find, as with most parts of the internet, it can get very divisive. It can get very negative. There
Oh,
can be a lot
okay.
of shouting and arguing. But I tell you, that's what
Really?
I love around here. That's what I love around here because it's just so positive. People are having fun. They're talking about what we're talking about. And that's what I said to you before the show. I'm really, and you can back me up on this one, but I said I'm really more about putting out that positive vibe now,
Yes.
Mary, because I'm
Well,
done
honey,
with the
there's been
doom, you
enough.
know?
There's been enough negativity and
Yeah.
just aberrant negativity and divisiveness and all of that, and the war between whatever, the agree to disagree and all that. It can actually poison your soul, and it actually can let in the shadow forces because they feed on high anger and right fighters. They feed on that. So I believe with the place we're at on the planet now is that we, the Earth citizens, must do our part to amplify the light and rebuke the dark, period.
So, Mary, tell people about when you go on with Joe Roop over on Fringe FM, and we'll do that when we go back on air as well, but let people here know about it.
Okay, so each new moon, that's when the sun and moon join forces. So every new moon, and that's usually the easiest things to find in your little calendars and your appointment books or on your phones. Like the next new moon show that I will do is on July 9th. That's a Friday. And every new moon, now remember I'm on the Eastern time zone. So every new moon I'm on, you'll love this, live, Kev, and my time zone from midnight to 2 in the morning doing readings and doing the astrology. Then every full moon, I'm on with Captain Kev here. So every full moon, it's right here on the Kev Baker Show. Every new moon, it's on the fringe.fm. The host is Joe Roop, R-U-P as in peace, E, and it's on lightingthevoid.com. That's lightingthevoid, VOID.com. But the network is called the fringe.fm, where Ryan Gable, our mutual friend Ryan Gable, is at
and that's
doing the
where
secret teachings.
I've made my one online presentation at the Fringe Annual Festival, the Fringe Festival. That was great. I think you were talking at that as well, Mary.
Halloween. Yeah, Halloween, yeah.
It was great. Yeah, I done the Loch Ness Monster, much to my protests. I've got this thing about I don't want to become Kev Baker monster guy, Mary.
But you're in the region.
You're
in the region that you could bring light to everything that your ancestry knows about it. Besides just people trying to make it like
you know, ring to it. You know, it's just not much street cred about Kev Baker monster guy.
Well, you wouldn't believe all the people, in the mountains that want to be the Sasquatch, Bigfoot, hunters over here.
True.
It's just
Very true. There is that now. We're about to go back to the network, so I'll be giving out the phone number when we go back there. I'll let Mary know all about your the website as well, and then I'll get a quick tarot pulled before we open up the phones. How's that sound? I'm going to shove on some music just for a second while we wait for the network. Here we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. Okay, so I went early. Okay. We'll do that again in a second. That's all right. That's all right. Yes, we are back. We are live. Take two, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. 1,521 shows later. And I
Love it.
still can't time coming back from the break correctly. But hey, we keep it real around here. And in recent times, one of our best additions to our regular lineup has been Mary Dusina. She comes on every full moon. We get into everything astrological, metaphysical. We're even talking about animal communication before the break. And one of the highlights of the month is when we open up the phones for everyone out there to either get a reading from Mary, have Mary pull a tarot card, or maybe there's something you've maybe got a career change, something like that coming up. The phone lines, my goodness, are already loaded up. But for anyone else out there who wants to call in, the number you need is 213 233 3998. That's 213 233 3998. So then, Mary, before we do go to the phones, how about we do our tradition, our own little ceremony where you pull me a tarot card?
Absolutely. Let me talk about just two dates for the replay that I want everybody to know, because the beauty of astrology, the beauty of celestial mechanics, is that knowledge is power. We've all heard that. And if you know a couple of dates that could be a little bit of an energy that could be contentious or a little bit of a tug of war with your emotions, I want to give a little validation to people that right before and as Mercury was turning around retrograde on the 22nd, there was also a stress factor that was going on that the sensitive souls out there were feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and that is backing off now, but it's not fully gone till the 25th. So there's nothing wrong with you if you're feeling emotionally amplified or overwhelmed. If your little tummy, your little gut level is off and you feel like that you're bloated or you don't want to eat or you're nauseous, or hopefully it's the butterflies in your stomach and you got good stuff coming on. But Saturn's doing its retrograde, and Neptune on the 25th is going to turn retrograde in Pisces. There's our ocean signs. Jupiter's already retrograde in Pisces at 2 degrees. So Neptune and Jupiter together. Neptune, as I said earlier, rules over the oceans of our emotions. But Pisces is all about our angelic guides, our Creator, Father, Lord. It's the Almighty I Am. Whatever culture, whatever indigenous way that you turn to the anchor in your heart chakra and your spirit, however your spirit gets recharged, however you enact your courageous faith and become that brave heart. This is the best of this full moon in Capricorn right now. This supermoon is, remember, a full moon lights up the darkness, like you can see your path a lot better if you don't even have a flashlight. But Taurus people that are born between May 3rd and 5th, Scorpio people that are born, write this down, between November 5th, 6th, Aquarians that you know, born on the birth dates of the 5th or 6th of February, and Leos that are born on the 5th or 6th of August. Over July 1st and 2nd, the planet of chaos and change that leads to clarity after the confusion is going to square off from Taurus to Mars and Leo. That's on July 1st and 2nd. Now, the fact that your mystical seasoned professional astrologer is telling you this today is going to give you an ability to shift that frequency, because knowledge is power. When I tell you something could be a little wonky or go sideways, and I tell you to control your actions and your temper and your ego, and you follow through with that, boots on the ground in life's battlefields, and you listen to the wisdom of my little skill sets of 35 years of this, then when someone tries to drag you into some kind of road rage or absolutely innocuous type of debate or argument, you're going to take the higher road. Did you hear me? you're going to take the higher road. You're going to pause, you're going to reflect, and you're not going to get drug into something that in aftermath you would look at going, what the heck was I thinking? So July 1st and 2nd, Mars in Leo, Leo's in Aquarius, that's their polarity, is going to oppose Saturn in Aquarius. An old lover, an old traumatic revisitation could take place because Saturn's retrograde, and Saturn's like, look at that one more time to try to get yourself unhooked from that memory, unhooked from that trauma or that thing that was unfair. If you're a Cancer, Aries, Libra, or Capricorn, if you're a Cancer born July 3rd, if you're an Aries born the first 3 days of April, if you're a Capricorn born between the 2nd and 4th of January, or a Libra born between October 1st through the 3rd, right around the 4th, 3rd of July is a time for you not to put your mind and your heart in battle. So I don't want a tug of war between your willpower of your heart. Let the heart lead the way. Leo rules the heart. So don't get into a tug of wills or a battle of words. And I just want to get that out there for people because that June 26th little bump in the road, and Venus over this weekend is going to fight with Pluto in mythology. Pluto is Hades, or the lord of the underworld. You know, Hades, Latin, you go back to Latin, it means the lord of the hellish realms. So if you know this in advance, it can't sneak up on you. That's one of the most wonderful things when I've looked at the signs and the signs of the times and almost, oh, that's a little bumpy. It's just like you're riding down a highway and they're going to get a detour, because if you didn't know there was going to be a detour, which smartphones let us know nowadays with our GPS, but before, when you just had to use a map, it's like, oh, heck, that could delay me an hour. Or that, look at that big sinkhole that opened up. This is that kind of astrological weather, and I have been that kind of astrologer with my clients that I'll say, okay, when I'm doing your next 6 months reading, let's start with where I want you to be very aware, and I want you to be aware so you don't have to beware. So I get those out of the way. I want to get those dates out of the way because, gee, what's left? The good stuff, right? The good stuff. So when Mercury comes out of its shadow, July 7th through the 9th is a sweet spot. That's a sweet spot. And I'll finish before we go to the phones by saying a Capricorn moon is telling us we are now being shown the specific type of skills or work or career goals that we would be better in harmony with. So it's like we're getting more in tune with our soul's desire and fate. And when you go through any kind of a stall or lockdown, or you get fired or you walk out because, you know, Saturn's also about breaking away finally from abusive things. That's all in the mix until the first week of July is finished too. So I'm going to tell you there's some very somber, life-changing decisions that can happen before we get to July 7th. And like Kev, I'm telling you it's a good thing. You know, it's like we take it and we take it and we take it, and we're the one that tries to stay in there and fix them and fix them and fix them. And sometimes, like I told you earlier when we were talking about potential past lives, people come into our life for a season, and sometimes people come into our life for a reason. And sometimes it's too damn people-y out there. And you're better off with an animal.
I like that. Yeah, I tell you, keep your circle of really good friends really tight and really close.
Right.
That's what I
Right, because
find.
loyalty, let me tell you, the most loyal sign usually in the Western zodiac is people that have the sign of Moonchild Cancer strong in their chart. They don't give their heart easily. They believe in time being on their side, and when they make a commitment, they might be a little slow to get to the altar. They might be a little slow to commit to somebody because they're watching, like a bird on a wire. They're watching, testing.
You don't need to
testing,
tell
testing.
Anne that. What, she's been waiting, 20 years plus to get me down there? Ain't happening.
But yet, you know, you and Ann are a match. Yet you know
yes.
That's my heart, that's my commitment, that's my loyalty. I'm not talking about just a ring or a wedding dress or a tuxedo. I'm talking about in this world. And let me, before we go to the phone, I'm going to say this. My indigenous shamanic teachers always reminded me when I would get too people-y and too human and too locked down in this 3D terrestrial world, they would say to me, Mary, oh, mystic on the mountain, you came from spirit. You are spirit. We slip on skin to walk this world for a while. We never leave spirit. We are never not spirit. We will walk this world for a while, this realm, maybe even multi-dimensional walkabouts. But we will return to spirit because you never left spirit and you are spirit. You have footprints in both worlds. And in an earth life, if you will, if you'll learn more about your real home, your true shelter, your true spiritual continence, and work with the skills of discernment, discerning both men and spirits, if you'll work with that, then all of your skills of your spiritual, sacred, ancestral self come to help you in this 3D world. I promise you, because I've been that hardhead in my life that tested all of it, said, well, I don't know. So I've been there with, I got to touch it, smell it, make sure it's real and all that kind of stuff. And now I absolutely give full control to the Holy Ghost. Boom, we're in. What do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go? That's it, because I learned it the hard way.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Now, Mary, we have got
Here's
phones
your
lighting
card.
up.
Are you ready?
How about card for 3 minutes, and then we'll go to the phones, right?
Yes, okay, absolutely.
There
And
we
I
go.
bless you all, and thank you all for your loyalty, and thank you all for your support and your manners. As I always said on my Tampa show, Kevin, why would you ever want to piss off a psychic? So, having said that, the first card is called the key, and I'm working with my Oracle round cards. And so the key, what do keys do, Kev? They unlock things. They unlock treasures. They unlock doors. They lock doors, and they can lock up our, we have our safes for maybe our prepping food, or maybe some people with their ammunition or their guns, or maybe their beautiful musical instruments. Sometimes people lock their front doors. Some people lock their bedrooms. So this key is like a golden key, and it has an energy to it, successful outcome to any of the problems that go back to March of this year. So there's some kind of key and it's got jewels on the key. It's a very ornate, pretty key. It's not just your average little key. Now your immediate future card is dealings. There's like dealings in some type of a win-win, or some type of association or an agreement with a man that has a dark complexion or darker hair, like his natural hair coloring, like up baby growing up, whether it's got silver in it or it turned white, doesn't matter. His natural complexion is more of a medium or a darker type of tone. And I feel like that somehow this male energy, this vibration is going to be giving you some keys of how to advance. And the guy on the card has got a ponytail. So it's kind of like a native First Nations type, maybe a little bit of the Mongolian type of hairstyle that a lot of guys like. A lot of guys like to do. It's not a man bun. It's a ponytail. It's like
man buns are a bit soy for the Kev Baker show. We like to keep it toxic and manly around here, Mary.
That's right. God live the good male vibration. So I feel like that this man with this naturally medium to darker brown hair, he could have longer hair, and he may wear it in a variety of ways, but his natural way that he would choose with his work and his personal way that he feels more comfortable with his hair would be like a lot of indigenous people do. They wear it long, whether it's Mexican, Latino, Native American. They like their hair long. They understand what hair really means. They understand that. So look for that, but I feel like it's a level up. It's a level up key. It's insight. It's wisdom. There's keys of knowledge. There's keys that start a car or a boat, or, we lock up our luggage when we go on a flight. So there's some kind of journey that I feel that's being born deep within you that I feel is going to be an upgrade work-wise, career-wise.
Yeah, I'll hopefully find out if I get a car this month. So
okay, and there's also, I feel like there's more money flowing into you, and I do believe that your listeners will want to tithe to you and donate to you and tip. I mean, I'm known, whatever town I live in, I'm known because I tip and I tithe. So I'm guilty that I don't tithe it just to one synagogue or church or whatever. I kind of like to put it in the animal's mouth or in a man's hands, or, I like to do it, to me, I like to, maybe that's a little bit of an ego thing. I don't want the applause. I do like the joy when they go, really, $20? You're going to tip me $20? Go, feed your family, go. It's my tithe this month. You can't say no, it's a tithe. So I'm doing it. So I like it, like you're to your point of uplifting someone. I want to be that agent that out of the blue, that all of a sudden it's like, oh, somebody just, like you see these on these chat rooms, or you see this on YouTube, somebody just tipped you or donated to the, whatever it's called, Patreon. So I don't get into all that muckety muck. But it's like, I like it that they commit to $7.99 a month, or they send over $40 or something, because that shows an immediate, in the present, today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. So when you show up and you bless your wisdom teachers, you bless the people, your spiritual leaders, you bless these people that actually are making an innovative, inspirational, moment in your life and they got you uncrumpled and they helped you not be fractured or broken, why the hell wouldn't you want to bless them and give them something? I just don't understand that. So that's my soapbox.
I like it, Mary. So listen, we can't waste any more time because
Right.
these phones are actually, it's like they're dialing off
I'm
the
ready.
hook. And I've
I'm ready.
actually
Bada
got a
boom, bada
nice
bing. Here we go.
UK red phone box for people over on Algo.
Algorithm donated $20 through Super Chat.
Wow.
Cause
Bless you.
Mary is right.
Thank you
Bless
very
you.
much, Algo. And Mary, you can't see this in the radio audience, but now
No,
I've got the old-fashioned red telephone box from the UK because we're going live to the phones, everyone. And if you want to call in, the number you need is 213-233-3998. One more time is 213-233-3998. And the phones are like off the scale.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Here we go.
Oh, I'm glad you're ready. First up, we are going to area code 775. Welcome to the show. You're on with Kev and Mary.
Hello?
Hey,
Hello,
welcome
caller.
to the show. It's great to hear from you. I'm going to put you on with Mary now, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, what a nice
Mary,
tone.
bless you.
Thank you. What a nice tonal quality you have to your voice. The first card that fell out is Archangel Raphael, which blesses a Gemini type of energy on the cards, which in the traditional tarot is called the Lovers. And this has to do, anytime our intimate or romantic life gets a little sideways or wonky, there's some aspect of ourselves at the core of it, at the seed level of it, that we're not accepting about ourselves, or we're not loving enough about ourselves to set some boundaries. We've got to show up in a relationship. A lot of people say, well, I think a relationship's 50-50. I'm like, no, it isn't. It's 100% and 100%. So there's something around you that has to do with some clarity, and I feel like an energetic upgrade to do with how you view love, how you show up to the feast table of love, how maybe you've rewritten your script of what your top 3 priorities will be in a relationship, existing or new. So whether you've gotten out of an intimate dynamic or you've been pushing it back, like Kev was talking about pushing back, getting another cat, sometimes we push it away because the fruit's not ripe yet and we're still healing, we're still grieving, we're still getting over that brokenness or that fracture either within ourselves or one that departed through divorce or whatever, whatever. Death isn't always the only way that we feel like a relationship died, right? So I feel like there's some kind of healing dynamic. Your archangel right now definitely is Raphael. So I would study that. I would go online and look up what are all the attributes and blessings of Archangel Raphael. And one other card just fell out. Okay, the 4 of Cups, which is water. This is a water sign of the year in the cosmic conditions of things. The celestial season that we're in is the oceans of our emotions. So this is a picture of one who is sitting out in nature with their back comfortably resting up against a pine tree. There's pine cones. And there's 3 golden chalices. The cups in the tarot are the same as the suit of hearts in regular playing cards. I try to teach as I go so it's not just about just the one color. In this vision of this card, a hand of spirit, you see a pink cloud, and there's a supernatural hand gifting, where we're talking about tithing and blessing your teachers and your preachers and the shamans and the people that bless you in your life, including your best friends that listen to your crap. Take them out to lunch and buy it. So this is giving you a heart. It's giving you the next answer, the next golden chalice, which chalices have to do with what do we do when we toast? We toast with our wine glasses or our champagne glasses. We take a communion chalice when we're going to take and eat. This is my body, this is my blood, take and eat when we do Holy Communion. So there's some kind of communion that Spirit is requesting your presence at the prayer table, at the meditation table, maybe at an outdoor fire ceremony. They're requesting you to come to Spirit and ask, allow, and receive, because the golden chalice, the heart's right there. You just need to go ask and receive it. Here's the problem. We tend to ask, but we tend not to believe that we're worthy, and we tend not to actually claim it and receive it. And that's what they're saying to you. Are you ready Be careful what you ask for, you may get it. So we think we want something in our mind. And then when it comes close, we're like, no, scary clown, scary clown, scary clown. No, I'm ready yet. I'm kind of a little scared. I don't know if I want to put my heart out there again. So you see how that goes against mind and heart? Do you understand?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you got some work to do.
Yeah.
It's not hard work. It's not hard work. Go out under the moon. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I wanted to tell you what my chart is like. I've been raised in astrology all my life, and I am very spiritual. And
good.
My Pisces sun is 2 degrees, right where Jupiter is now.
Good. We're not going to do that too long, not to be disrespectful, because the lines are full.
Okay.
So right there is what you need to focus on. The Jupiter at 2 degrees in your sun sign. So it's time for you to receive the bounty. You just said in astrology speak, which a lot of people won't understand in the audience, but you just said in astrology speak exactly what this card said. The golden chalice is being given to you by paranormal, supernatural, divine means. The golden chalice, the cups, which are Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer, the cups suit. And the tarot card is saying to you, receive and claim the blessings. Amen. Aho. That's your answer.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
You're welcome, honey.
Wow.
Thank you.
Now, thank you for calling in, but I am going to have to move on swiftly to the next caller. Mary, I've never had to do this before, but I need to scroll to look down the callers here, okay? So I'm not making that up for effect.
I know you don't. I know you don't make up things.
Next up, we are going to area code 585. Welcome to the show, and I'm going to let you speak directly to Mary Dusina.
Oh, bless you.
Hi.
Bless you.
That's a very positive, vibrant hello. A big welcome to the show, and Mary, I like it when you hear a bit of energy like that.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for that. Thank you for how your voice is uplifting the listening audience in chat, on the future YouTube replays. Anybody that hears this a year or 3 years from now, your voice, these answers, if you're hearing this show at any point, these cards also are a message for you. You could take every one of these messages and put it together in a paragraph, and it's a reading for the collective. That's how spirit works.
Wow.
So do you want to know what your cards are?
I do. Mary, Kevin, this is a great show. Mary, this is my first introduction to you, and bless you, thank you, and we all appreciate you here.
Thank you for that.
Fabulous.
May we all be blessed with how we give, how we love, and how we appreciate when it's given to us. Thank you.
3 minutes, Mary. You've got 3 minutes.
Okay. The king of the
Mary, one thing.
Yes.
Okay. I was just going to say I'm a Capricorn, if that makes any difference.
It's your strongest full moon of the year. So this is your moon to go outside, and how we always talk about howling at the moon. I want you to literally holler out to the moon everything I now release, I now let go of, I now clear. It's like when Glinda the Good Witch shows up from the Wizard of Oz, and she, instead of the green-faced witch, the Wicked Witch of the West, being able to fight with Glinda the Good Witch, she shows up in her all little pink bubble and everything. She's got that little smile on her face. The corners of her mouth are upturned. And why doesn't that Wicked Witch of the West throw fire and lightning at her? No, here's what Glinda says: "Be gone, for you have no power here." That's rich. That's working in command with spiritual authority right there. Be gone, for you have no power here. What a Wicked Witch just takes off. She don't fight with Glinda. She don't throw fire no more at the Scarecrow or nothing. She just exits stage center. Boom, gone. And that's what you need to do. With the Capricorn full moon, if your moon is in Capricorn, your ascendant rising sign is in Capricorn, or you are a Capricorn, let it go into the darkness and let the moon light you and say, you did it. You did it. Here's your supernatural light. Okay, you got the King of Rods, King of Wands. This is a fire element. It would represent yang, masculine vibration. This is the full moon of the Father, our patriarchal energies, whatever that story is, whether it was fractured or broken, or we miss our daddies, or we love our father figure and we'd like, that's George Michael's song, "I'll Be Your Father Figure." So that's what this energy is for you, but there's a lion on the back of the throne. So this is about Leo, and Venus and Mars are going to be side by side in Leo. So this is your heart chakra, and your oracle round card is manna from heaven, the bread of heaven, and it's a period of prosperity and abundance. So there's something by you letting go that ushers in the horn of plenty, the cornucopia.
So I'm going to repeat that so I understand it, Mary. And my rising sign is Leo. So
perfect.
You said
perfect. Okay. So this is the first.
That
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So I just want to understand. So you're saying that there is something that is going to happen that is going to be a letting go for me, almost like a purging?
Yeah, purging. Yeah. You're like ascending. You're rising up from anything that was really, although you learned from it. You know how we tend to hang on to those things that were negative from our childhood or make us insecure?
We're
you
right
want to cast that all away.
We're
all
right
away.
on the break. We will be right back.
She's
and we
got
have
it.
got
She's got it.
about 7 callers to get through. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be right back. Wow.
Thank you, Kevin.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon.
I have to kind of keep them on center sometimes with due respect because they can get a reading. You know, it's not going to be a full reading on the show. They just need to hear what Spirit wants to say to them quickly.
I totally appreciate that, and I thank you because, like I say, I've never experienced this level of callers before. So it's really good that you're used to this. You're an old pro at this stuff. But listen, Mary, what are you going to be doing during this full moon when you're not talking to me here on? I tell you what, it's been I love it when you come on. You always kind of energize me.
Thank you.
But what are you going to be getting up to after today's show?
Tonight is my time to set out and go out under the moon. Here in the mountains, it's behind the house, and it comes up over a lake. The apartment's on a lake, and I will go out and allow the lady of the lake, so to speak, the lady of the lake and the spirit of the mountain to cleanse me, and I'll be sitting outside. Instead of petitioning in prayer, I'll be listening for what's meant to be for my assignment. It's kind of like I go and I listen and say, and what would you have me focus on, and what would you have me prioritize? So I have to I give full control over to that to be able. I do my shields of protection, call in my Holy Ghost and my archangels, and I just meditate. I do my frankincense oil is on my third eye, and I sit down with my little rescue dog, make sure my cats are okay, and I go out and I let the stars talk to me. I speak stars, but I also let stars talk to me.
I wish I had that ability. I've told you many times before that my brain is too busy. I've got Dave in there. I've got me. I've got a bajillion other things going on. But I think I operate best when I'm really kind of working at 100 miles per hour, to be honest with you.
Well, some people are better busy because that gives the conscious mind a job. So, you could get busy to go create a little bit of a sacred space, and you could take Anne, and you could take, those that you love outside, and you could say, let's just do a tribal family. We're going to light a candle, and we're all just going to, 15 minutes is all I ask, and because you're better busy, and we're just going to sit outside for 15 minutes and quietly, because I love Anne and I love you, son.
What the best is, Mary? Sorry to interrupt you, but sitting outside with a campfire. Or a real fire on a chimney burning. That is
do it. And it's okay if you roast marshmallows. It's okay. But for 15 minutes, you can be an open-eyed meditation. You stare at the fire and you just give thanks for all that is peaceful and serene in your world. You give thanks and bless your immediate future. You don't have to have the details. And you also give thanks that anything that's a conscious or an unconscious, hidden or obvious, uninvited energy that you don't want anymore, you just let the fire consume it. Because fire is a type of baptism, too. The first baptism is by water, the second is by fire.
I do my best thinking A, in the bath, and B, by the fire.
Yep.
There you go. Yep. I know I'm a weirdo, folks. What can I say? But listen, it is what it is.
I'm right there with you. The best church experience I've ever had is outside in any location, on the beach, in the mountains, whatever, and I'm by a ceremonial fire because I have the best. I have heaven and earth.
I must admit, when I was over in Tampa, the night sky over there. Wow! I can see it again now. Norway was the same. Yeah, Norway was the same kind of effect. There's something about that kind of connection. I don't know what it is.
The Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis. My God, it's the breath of Mother Earth. It's how Father Sky and Mother Earth kiss, the Northern Lights. That's my absolute favorite nature phenomena, or the Aurora Borealis. Oh my God!
That's like one of the main reasons I like actually volunteered for 3 months near the Arctic Circle in the army.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
oh
a
my
trade-off
God.
I made for the weather. I thought, Northern Lights, I'll take a bit of that.
Absolutely.
But we'll come back
Sometimes
now.
they come here. Sometimes they come here.
We'll come back now. Here we go, Mary. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Final segment of today's Kev Baker Show. I want to thank everyone for tuning in on the home of the Kev Baker Show, Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. We also go out on TalkStream Live. We're on the second page over there, so we are flying high. Big shout out to everyone listening there. And of course, we've got 77 pure positive souls hanging out in YouTube as well. So wherever you are.
You know how sacred of a number that is? A 7-7, double sevens. Number 1, 7 is said to be the mystical number of the Christ consciousness. And 7 chakras, 7 main planets. Wow, thank you for saying
Mary,
that. I love the number
today,
7.
like when you said we'll go on YouTube, can we go on YouTube, Kevin? I was like, well, I am so glad we got it out there to as many people on as many platforms as we can, because that's what it's all about for me. And I do strongly believe that whether it's this show right now or any other show that you find yourself listening to, everything, it's for a reason, and everything leads to where you are at exactly the right time. So if you are tuned in right now, I think you can at least take away from it this positive vibe and the fact that you're meant to be here. There's something you're meant to hear, and maybe you're meant to be one of the people on the lines that is waiting patiently to speak to my good friend Mary. And Mary, if you don't mind, I'm going to go right back there now.
Absolutely.
We are going to go to...
It's going to be quick.
Yep. Area code 502. Welcome to KBS, and you are on with Mary Dusina.
Hi, Mary. Hi, Kev. It's Beck.
Hey, Beck. It's absolutely fantastic that you've called in. Mary, one of our long-time listeners here, so over to you, Mary.
Honored. Got 2 things for you, Beck. I feel like I see like celebration around you, like candles or like stars going off, or like certain restaurants will put a Mexican birthday hat on you, or like there's something like there's celebratory around you. It's more like a congratulations or a birthday than like a wedding or something like that. But anyway, I feel like you're going to receive a gift. I see this beautiful ornate box, and it's like it's really pretty. I would call it more like a little antique treasure chest kind of a thing, or maybe you like collecting those little miniature boxes. But there's something about the box is symbolic of a hand-designed gift. And then I see a hammock, and Spirit's telling me that you need some kind of journey or vacation, either physically or mentally. Like you need solace for the soul. Like you just need to I don't care if it's a pedicure, and you journey into as your legs are being massaged and you're getting some kind of a healing, nurturing treatment. I just feel like it's time for you to do some self-nurturing with your own self. Like you're always helping and giving other people, but I think it needs to be you now. You understand?
You are so spot on. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I absolutely do.
Okay.
I do have one question. Just a short little question for you. I've been having dreams about regaining my solidarity, and there's something I need to let go of in order to do that. But I don't know what it could be.
Okay, I went right to your stomach. I went right to above the navel. So where it operates emotionally in your body is in that digestive, like what you digest and what you eliminate. So I think that's going to be like your physical body clue when you're dreaming. Like, so when you get close to what it is, your stomach's going to feel really good, like when you've enjoyed like a little ice cream cone, and when you're getting close to that, you're holding on to something, and it feels like it's tied in with a sibling or a male relative somehow. I feel like if you'll just go in meditation and say, where was it that there was some kind of disappointment, or maybe I blamed myself and it wasn't my fault that I got judged or blamed or criticized, and it was not me, but I took the hit. Like it was them. It was their shortcomings or their abusive words or their inappropriate action. And I feel like that somehow you took that on, or you witnessed something and you feel bad that you didn't speak up or defend the mom or whatever was on. I think you need to let that go. Start there. I get like 7 to 8 years old, 7 to 9 years old, around in there. Go back to that and let your subconscious pull that up.
I already know what you're speaking of, and I can't thank you enough.
Oh,
Beck,
bless you, honey.
it's
Bless
been
you.
Thank you
great
so
that you.
much for taking my call. I don't want to take any more of your time. Thank you,
Thank you,
Kev.
darling.
Bless you both.
Thank
Thank
you,
you. I'll take
Beck.
it.
Oh, wow. Mary, see, I love it when people call into you because they always seem to know what you're talking about. And that's why I get a really good feeling in my belly because I know for once, I'm not adding to people's problems. I'm literally bringing Mary
Yes.
onto the show here and we're helping people.
And we
So,
can do this.
next up.
We can do it. We want to do it. We want to do it. Yeah.
Next up is another great friend of the show. She's part of the family. Her name is Leslie. Welcome back to KBS. And I'm just going to put you straight on with Mary. Mary, this is Leslie. Welcome back to
Hey.
the show, Leslie.
Oh, thank you, Kev. How are you? Hi,
We're
Mary.
great.
Good. Good, honey. Thank you, Leslie. Leslie, why am I seeing a ladder in front of you that you need to climb up over something, or you need to see something higher? And yeah, some indecision, or there's been some doubt, and I see the ladder is your friend. The ladder is your friend. The ladder is your friend that you're climbing.
Well, I'm short, so I definitely like ladders. I have a sense of humor about everything, so don't take that as
that's fine.
disrespect or anything. So.
That's fine.
Yeah,
well,
I called actually a while back too.
Okay.
And
I try really hard not to remember my clients because I want to read fresh. Like I have people I've read for 30 years, but every time I read for them, it's fresh in that moment because I'm acquiescing and absolutely bowing to what Spirit wants me to say to somebody. So I never take it as an insult.
Yeah,
if you say, remember when you told me?
Too.
Yeah. There's also your totem right now is tiger. Before we go to the next call, there's something about tiger, and so you need to take a chance or do something a little more risky out of the box than what you normally do. You're pretty guarded.
Okay.
You understand?
I it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do it. Call us back and let us know how it goes. Tiger.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, honey.
Just remember,
Thanks,
keep your
everybody.
claws in,
Thanks,
Leslie.
Mary.
Just remember,
That's
keep
right.
those claws in. Don't get too
That's
tiger.
right. They're coming out.
Yeah.
No, she can show her tooth to somebody if they approach her inappropriately. She can just curl that lip like Elvis Presley and show that fang. That's okay.
Well, it was interesting what you said about. I was wondering how the moon signs figure in. I always hear people say, "Oh, it has to do with mother issues and your intuition." I found out recently that I have a Leo in there, so.
You would benefit no matter who you choose. It doesn't have to be me. All of you would benefit. Find the astrologer of your choice and have them read your soul treasure map because your birth chart is a portrait of the heavens when you incarnated on this earth. It's a portrait. It's your star map of everything to do with the strength of your soul and the challenges, and you learn the best times of the year. You learn what's compatible with your moon sign. There is so much information, and you know what? It's a reading that's all about you. It's all about you. So I think that people find the astrologer of your choice. Doesn't have to be me, but find somebody and have that experience because it is absolutely life-changing, incredible, because you all of a sudden be going, that's why I felt that way. Yes, that happened at that age. Oh, my gosh. And it frees you up. It just frees you up. So think about that.
Okay, so follow the ladder.
Follow the ladder.
Thank you.
Follow the ladder. I'll be posting ladder memes.
Climb up higher, beyond it, ascend. Climb up. And maybe there's something about the vision of Jacob's ladder,
we need to move on, Mary. We need to move on.
We're doing it.
And Leslie, thank you so much. No, thank you, Leslie. Moving on now to area code 310. Welcome to the show, and a very good day to you. And now you're on with Mary Dusina.
Good afternoon.
Hi there. Hi, I'm Mary. Hi, guys.
What a melodic laughing
Love
voice
it.
you've got.
Awesome.
All right. If you don't have a question, I've got two things to tell you real quick because we're going to go rapid fire. Do you have a question or do you want me to tell you what Spirit's cards gave you? You got a choice.
I need you to tell me because I'm overwhelmed, to be honest.
Okay. All right. The first image that I get is an ink pot, like the old-fashioned, like feather pens or quills, as they call them, like calligraphy kind of a thing. I'm seeing calligraphy being written whenever that was started back in history. That might be a past life. But they say to me, tell her the problem is about to be resolved. But then I see a shark. And they say, tell her, like that show Shark Tank or whatever, swimming with the sharks, tell her to take care. Look again. Look over any legal papers before you sign Inkpot. before you sign on the dotted line, there could be a loss of material wealth or something you didn't see if you don't look at it or get the advice that you need or something. So do not buy it. Do not sign it. Do not commit to it by being pressured. You need to look carefully before you agree to sign on to that relationship, that job, that cruise or whatever it is. Make sure that you say, I'm going to sleep on this overnight and look it over.
Oh, thank you.
So make sure you look twice, maybe 3 times. I don't want you to be paranoid, but I want you to say, okay, those are the words that I got from Spirit. So I need to be very aware of my receipts, what I'm committing to buy, my credit cards, I need to protect that, my debit cards. You need to be aware of things that actually commit you to buying into or selling or getting out of contractual things. Be aware of it, because there's a shark there somewhere. So you don't need to get eaten by the business shark, okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and that could be a lease too. That could be a lease or renting. Pay attention. Mortgage, lease, whatever. Pay attention. Pay attention. When you go on a trip and you rent a car, or you go on the internet and it says opt into our privacy agreements. You better read all that stuff. Make sure before you just go, no, I want to go to that website. Be careful. Be careful. Thank you.
I almost just signed up for some huge thing. Thank you so much.
Wow.
You're welcome, hon. Thank you.
Wow, thank you for calling in. See, Mary, not that you need any verification or validation, but I tell you,
Honey,
I love
it's my
these shows.
guides. Honey, it's my guides. All I do is get Mary out of the way. What I trained myself to do was to get out of the way and be the spiritual satellite to let the download come through. I have to, I had to rein my
now
ego
you're
in.
talking my language, downloads,
Yep.
satellites. Yep.
Yep.
I like it. So we're going to area code 520. Welcome to the show. You're on with Mary Dusina.
Oh my gosh. Hello, it's Mercedes, and thank you for answering.
Hey, Mercedes, may I thank you, very, very humbled by your contribution to the show. Everything goes towards keeping us going here, so I thank you very much. And of course, Mercedes has been on the show with us, not only on Warrior Mode with our very, very good friend, Spiritual Warrior Bill Bean, and my other 2 cohorts. We've got Derek and Travis over there, but she's been on here on KBS as well, telling us her story. So, Mary, I'm going to let you talk to the very, very lovely, very upbeat, very awesome Mercedes.
Holy Spirit, thank you for this moment. Holy Spirit, around the entirety of Mercedes' domain and her animals, her husband, her children, Holy Spirit, breathe her. Amen. Okay, I got Ant.
Thank you. I love you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah. I got Ant, and I feel work, achievement, success. I feel like you're like the ant. You've got to work at it. It doesn't matter how small you start. It doesn't matter how small the ant is. The ant totem is mighty with its perseverance and its due diligence, and it just keeps doing it. Now, it doesn't need to direct it. It doesn't need to control everybody else that's working along in the little ant line, carrying the leaf, carrying the food. And then your tree totem is the weeping willow. And I feel like that the weeping willow, I love that tree too. I feel like it always grows near water. And I feel like the weeping willow is telling you need to hydrate more. Maybe people in your family or your animals need to hydrate more. There's something about water being the elixir, just like communion of life for you right now, even though biblically it was the wine. I feel like it's water, electrolytes, water. And I also feel like that whatever was a weeping, difficult rite of passage to do with your family, your lineage, your childhood, this is the full moon of the daddy in our family. So I feel like you're actually breaking those psychic knots and those emotional umbilical cords with that, and you can now move with the Holy Ghost and the angels just with knowing that there were some broken things in your family, some broken things in your childhood that you may be learning about, but I feel like that's over, and now you can take the best of the DNA, the best of the genetic coding, and moving forward without needing the drama. Everything around you right now, they're saying stop the drama, go with the flow. Don't let yourself get dramatic. Don't let yourself get too exuberant and pushy and impatient like a little kid in an ice cream shop. They're saying just trust and go and just hold your animal, or just go and close your eyes and lay down and take an afternoon nap with an animal, because you don't have to push it. It's like in divine hands. And that's what they say.
Oh my God, you're just like amazing.
Yes, it is. It's everything you said, every single thing. And this just today I was reading the Bible. I picked it up, and it was talking about the ant.
Okay,
Something
there you
about
go.
in the parables. I
Yep.
just couldn't believe you said ant.
Well,
Thank
that's
you.
the Holy
I am
Ghost.
working really hard, and I just don't know if yeah. Thank you. God,
That's the Holy
thank you
Ghost.
so
There's your
much.
confirmation. The Almighty I Am and the Holy Ghost, the Holy Presence is with you. Let it go. Know that even if you're taking a nap, Spirit is busy.
See now, Mercedes. I mean, I can ask you now. I mean, you know me from being on the show. You've been on with Bill. Now you can see why I kind of smile when Mary's taking calls, because I really know from what she's told me that she's on it, and I can really pick up on what the callers are feeling. And from your voice, I think it's a no-brainer that she kind of hit the nail on the head, right?
Oh my goodness, Kev. There is issues about the father thing going on and the work. I feel like work, but am I getting anywhere? And I'm trying to do spirit work. So I thank you. I mean, everything, the ants, the horses, the water, I'm shocked. I'm like shocked.
Put your hands up to the sky put your hands up to the sky, palms up when you're out with your animals, if some of them are outside, and just allow the holy manna from heaven, the water of heavens, the baptism by water and by the firelight of our solar sun lighting up the moon, reflecting down the moon's, what I call angel slides, those rays of the sun that we see, or the moonlight at night. Just put your palms up to that and receive the divine supper.
Thank you. I will. I've got my 7 p.m. I start my new questions for healing time, where people have sent me questions, and so I thank you for helping me today. So I feel more positive about my new thing for tonight. So
you'll say this.
And Kev, I hope to come back on this show again too sometime.
Mercedes.
Oh, thank you very, very much, Mercedes. Honestly,
Mercedes, this is what you need to take away. Yeah. Holy Spirit, breathe me. That's it. There's your elixir right there.
Now listen, Mercedes, as much as I love you, I really do need to move on to the next caller.
Move on to the next call. She's ready. She knows. She knows.
Bye-bye. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. Now let me find the right page again here. There we go. All in a kerfuffle. Let me go to area code 860, and we're going to take 3 minutes here, Mary. Welcome to the show, 860. You are on with Mary.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey.
I'm Marie, the warrior. I just want to say, every time Mercedes on your line, she has such light. Even it comes through the computer to me, the light that
doesn't it just
has around her.
Yeah,
so.
doesn't it just?
Mary, hi. I
hi, honey.
Quickly because I'm nervous too. So
okay, that's fine.
Just called in like this.
Thank you for that. Thank you for your trust. Okay, the axe, there's a symbol of like a Viking's axe that's up in the air, and I feel like that you have an acumen and a skill for being able to sense and read if there's any kind of frequencies or forces or energies that are trying to go at cross purposes with you, like that's one of your skill sets and gifts this lifetime. And I think one of you said warrior when you came on the line. It kind of cut out. But what I see is your immediate future card is diamond. And I feel like that there's something to do with any flower or herb or tree that blooms something of a light to medium pink. I feel like this is like what we call in Hebraic the Merkabah or Makaba, and it goes back to Egypt as well. And this is the spirit light body. So look that up, M-E-R, Merkaba, K-A-B-A, Merkaba. Look that up, and I feel like there's a host of answers and a host of clues for you to be able to have additional layers to your shielding as some type of warrior or some type of advocate for someone or something in need. Look up Merkaba. That's everything that's going to work with you all throughout the month of July and August. Just look that up, and it means the spirit's body of light, Merkaba or Merkaba. Look that up.
Okay. So,
it's going to give you all kinds of like foundational wisdom. It's like you're going to go, oh my God, I know this. I may not have heard that word
it'll
much.
Give me the answers that I'm looking for.
Yes, and I also see something as you're going away. It's something about a younger woman than yourself, and I feel like there's something that there's dealings or some kind of relationship with a woman that's younger than you, a female that's younger than you, and I feel like that she's going to maybe not admit it or give you the applause psychologically, but I feel like you're a great helpmeet in this person's life. You are a pearl of wisdom.
Aw. And that's really nice because sometimes I don't feel like I'm very good at stuff
You
like
are.
that.
You are. Go look up the Merkaba. Go do that work. That's your full moon lesson.
Thank you so much. You
Thank you,
have a very nice weekend and be blessed, Mary.
Thank you. I accept. I accept. I receive.
Awesome.
And now, listen,
you.
if you are listening to this right now, let me remind you just how awesome you are. So, listen, this is absolutely brilliant. We've got one more caller on the line.
Okay.
It's another regular, long-time listener. We're going to Regla Girl, and it's over to you, Regla and Mary.
Hi, Mary. This is Sarah. I also am Regular Girl. Nice to talk to you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you. You have an ancient quality to your voice. You have almost like when in Persia when the women would announce, there's like I don't know what the name of it is. There's a technical name for it, but they do a certain type of anthem type of calling that they work with the tongue and the mouth, and it reverberates in a sense like when you have to learn Spanish in school. There's the R. And you learn that that's erre, and then you can't go to Spanish level 3 until you can roll your R's, as they say. So there's erre, and then there's erre, and you have to do that. Okay. In the Middle Eastern Persian culture, there's also, and maybe it's current day Iran as well, but I know that there's something to do with it's in that whole harem belly dancing type of thing. But there's some type of a thing that they get into like a dance trance, and there's something to do with not only the finger symbols, but also to do with how the from that belly chakra, from the upper chakras from the belly up to the heart chakra, to that hole, the way they move their chest and their shoulders, that's something floating around you with someone or some other time or some kind of multi-dimensional timeline. But what I see with you, the bowl is full of fruit. And they're showing me this beautiful bowl that's sitting on a counter, and there's a pineapple and a banana and an apple and an apricot and a peach, and there's some cherries hanging over it. And I feel like that you're going to have some type of bounty or plenty like your needs will be met. Your needs will be met. And fruits, and when you think about feast, we think about restaurants and high dinners in New York and California or in London, but this is different. This is about the fruits of the land and the enzymes and the vitamins and the benefits from it. And then you also got the Ace of Wands. Now, the Ace of Wands, there are 4 aces in traditional tarot decks. Aces are the openings of a spiritual cachet. They're the openings of some type of a prize. And so the Ace of Wands rules in traditional tarot teachings the opening of autumn, the season of autumn. And it has everything to do with the fire signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. These could be specific points in your own sky chart that are being favored over July, August, September. An astrologer could help you with that. That's not a business pitch. You can go to anybody you want to. But I feel like there's or an Aries person or a Leo person or a Sagittarius person. But the next fire sign cycle, I also believe is paramount. On July 22nd, 23rd, we will shift into the solar sign of Leo all the way through to the 3rd week of August. Now, I will tell you that Venus and Mars in Leo right now, go find out where Leo is in your own nativity, in your own star birth chart, because Leo is the prosperity zone for you right now. So you'll find out what house that is. Okay, so the moon has to do with the moon has to do with the mother. The moon has to do with the grandmother, the mother, female siblings, the key female players in your life, the best friends, the in-laws, anything to do with the female helpmeets in this life. And your moon in Leo, you find it easy to be gregarious and generous, but the inner child and you wonder sometimes, why don't they see me that way? So you got to get that out of there. Got to get that out of there. When we give, we have to give. And if someone is taking advantage of our givingness and never wanting to reciprocate or give back to us, then we need to not be a people pleaser, and we need to not just give to people in order for them to like us or want to be around us. And Moon and Leos have to work with that. They can't always be the one that picks up the check. They can't always be the one that's the clown or the entertainer in the room, because people will be energy vampires and they'll take too much of your energy. And anytime you or I or Kev or anybody else gives with some silent psychic or psychological string attached, okay, well, I did that. I hope they do something nice for me one time like I did for them. That's a string attached. Break it. It's a psychic cord. Break it. Give because it feels good to give. That's it. When somebody tithes to Kev's show or gives appreciates someone in their life, when you give, if you give it freely and it's gone, you let it fly free like a songbird from a cage, you'll be blessed.
We are out of time. I can't believe it. This has been awesome. Listen, Regla.
You know what, Kev? We ended by giving. We ended by giving.
Oh, Mary, you are the guest that keeps on giving. And
You're welcome.
Regla, thank you for calling in. This has been absolutely brilliant. I hope all of you out there have really, really enjoyed today's show. I know I have. Listen, check out Mary Dusina over at marydusina.com. And I'll be back tomorrow with Nacy for Freaky Friday. Yes, your good friend Nacy, Mary.
Love Nacy and Scotty.
Yeah.
Love them. And Nano Girl.
Well, Scotty actually got himself a little concussion the other day. I'm a little bit worried about
Scotty. Prayers for Scotty.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about Scotty because he, you know what concussions like, a little bit sick.
Sure.
So, big vibes out to Scotty Lopez. He's also got a storm bearing down on him. We're not in Kansas
Scotty,
anymore.
we're with you. We're with you, Scotty.
Lopez
We're with you.
is literally in Kansas right now. So, listen, wherever you are, make it TFR. Then touch that dial. And I'll be back tomorrow, Freaky Friday, and next week, another week of KBS. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. There we go, Mary. It's been awesome. And to everyone out there on YouTube, if you called in BP, I am blown away that you called in. I know that this is not something you do very often. Leslie called in. Mercedes called in. To everyone who called in, I don't know, Mary, but it's one of the highlights for me when I hear people. And I tell you what, the callers tonight were really, really upbeat, right?
Yes, they were. Yes, well, they're ready. We're ready to embrace the light. We're done with the darkness. We've learned our lessons, but now we have to realize that we're not owed or guaranteed anything. It's time for us to be the shields of light and to go out there, and as I think it was Gandhi that said, be the change that you're seeking in the world. Go be that. Go be that.
Absolutely. So, Mary, I'm going to let you get going as well.
Thank you, honey. Thank you. Yes, it's my full moon night.
Tell people about our next show. It's the day before the full moon on the Thursday.
July 22nd. Yeah. Yep. Is it 22nd or 23rd? I wrote it down, Kevin. Forgive me.
So did I. It's the 22nd.
Thursday, right?
Yeah, Thursday, the 22nd of July.
This will be the full moon. This will be the full moon in early Aquarius because the sun will be in Leo. So that's my favorite full moon, the lion and the winged star bearer of the heavens, Aquarius. So I get excited about that full moon. That's one of my favorites. So all of you tonight under the full moon, even in replay, go back to this point. Go back to June 24th because it's still in power until we come back again on the 22nd, 23rd of July. It's the full moon lessons, and we'll be back to see how you did next month.
Awesome, Mary. I love you to bits.
Thank you. Kisses to Anne and your tribe.
I will do. I'll tell Anne that you're asking for her. Thank you, Mary, and a big thank you from the audience as well. You were awesome.
God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Catch you later. So listen, folks, wow. I always like myself a little bit of Mary Dusina. Really, really great guest. I always feel a little bit better about everything after I do a show with Mary. And I'm sure if you called in today, you'll be feeling a little bit better as well. I've had fun. I hope you've had fun. It's been really great to do the simulcast over here on YouTube. I thank Mary for that. She was the one that said, shall we do it? And I thought, well, why not? It's going to be fun. It's going to be uplifting. We turn that frown upside down. That's what we do over here. And then maybe I'll be back later. I've got a lot of stuff I need to go over with people. We've got this weird thing going on the edge of our solar system. And I tell you, it's got my mind, it's got my imagination going crazy. Absolutely crazy. So we've got a lot to talk about. It might be later. But usually if we go later, it's going to be after dark. It's going to be weird woo. Well, like a bit of weird woo, right? But if not, definitely back tomorrow. Prophecy is what Nacy set aside for tomorrow's show. So we'll be getting into a little bit of that right here on Freaky Friday. Thank you to Mercedes. Thank you to Algo. Thank you to Jocelyn as well for supporting the show. It's thanks to you people we're able to keep going here. But we try and put as much out as we can for free. Over on the other YouTube channel, KBS Live Streaming, we've got memberships. And we have a members-only Danger Zone stream on a Sunday. That's the only thing I keep away behind, if you want to call it a paywall. But even over there, $2 or something gets you in. So listen, thank you all for your support. Try as much as you can to keep it positive. Try not to be divided right now. Try and come together, especially with the people closest around you. And that's what I like about the close-knit community that we've got going on around here. So thank you all for being here. And on that note, I'm going to find some, not the same tunes, because that was like, we played that way too often there. Even by my standards, that was bad. Let me see. Will we have a little bit of reggae on the way out? I think we will. Wah, 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 wah.
Come on, man. Excuse me, it's ma'am.
Are you serious?
How dare you?
Genetically modified.
Genetic engineering.
And the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat. And the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat.
Come on, man. Excuse me, it's ma'am.
Are you serious?
How dare you?
And the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat.